we produce 10 times more than the average acre in the world. We use a third of the water. And you know, when compared to Russia, for example, Russia is 1,000 times the size of Israel in land. Russia has 25% of the sweet water in the world, 1,000 lakes of sweet water. And believe it or not, Israel is exporting carrots to Russia, and avocado to Paris, and flowers to London. Why I'm saying it, we are not Superman. We are like any other human being, but we really handle it scientifically. And by handling scientifically, you can save water, you can save energy, because we're also short of energy. And now we are facing another challenge, and here I want to say a word about the future. I believe that in the coming 10 years there will be a total revolution in science and industry. I feel that we are nearing the electronic age because of the cybernetics. We depend so much upon electronics that one can paralyze another country overnight with the hackers. We don't know how to defend ourselves. In a way, cybernetics are more dangerous than nuclear bombs, because to use a nuclear bomb is a sensation. But to paralyze a country or a company without knowing who did it, without leaving fingerprints, is a different story. And you see all over the places, countries and armies are trying to provide an answer what to do. And who will replace electronics? In my judgment, there's just one answer: the human brain. In my judgment, the greatest reservoir for the future is what is contained in this small box. Until now, we used our brain to discover other brains, to produce artificial brains. The brain of Google is better than our brain. We did it practically on all fields but one. We didn't investigate ourselves. We didn't use our brain to discover how does our brain function. It has whatever you want. It has electronics, and this is chemistry, and the computers, everything in this small box. You have 100,000 miles of connections, 1.5 billion point of nerves. And you know, we wake up in the morning, we don't know really what makes us happy, what makes us angry, what makes us extreme, what makes us moderate. We know it's within us, in our own body, in our head, but we don't have the slightest idea. How does it function? The reason is because the head is built of such delicate parts and technologies that all the instrumentation we have had are vulgar to enter the brain. And we can destroy the brain immediately. It's only now, with the nanometer, that we started to enter the brain. No, nanometer is the most tiny little instruments in the world. If you'll take out one hair from your head and you'll split it in 60,000 parts, this is the size of a nanometer. With the nanometer, we started to enter the brain. It's already sensational. It's clear that we can have an interface between the computer and the brain. Namely, we can take parts of the computer and put in our brains, and vice versa, parts or technologies or strategies of our brain to put in the computer. It has an impact already. For example, we can put an electrode in our brain and overcome illness like Alzheimer's and others. We can enter the brain without opening the body and handle directly tumors and others. And I think it began and it will grow very fast for 3 reasons. Reason number one, because the increase in artificial intelligence went up tremendously. The first computer was introduced 25 years ago. Its strength today is 1,000,000 times more. From the first computer they would hardly put in this room, you have today iPhone. And the difference is 1,000,000 times in effectiveness and cost. And it's spreading all the time. And the computer is now going into two directions. It is playing concerts, namely you can have several computers acting together, and it's playing solo. It can answer individual inclinations. The computer will learn who you are and give you an answer to your question that will fit your mentality. The second reason is the number of scientists in the world, with the Indians and the Chinese. The society of the community of scientists will go in millions. India is producing 400,000 engineers a year, so is China. And here quantity will become quality. But the third answer, we began and we see it's a great reservoir of alternatives. Everybody can be a better person. I just read a book that said actually a child is being born completely altruistic, without an ego. The ego begins to develop when he has to fight for his existence. It begins with the parents, the first fight a baby has. The parents like the baby, but they tell him how to sit and how to go, and the baby feels he loses freedom. So he begins to fight for himself, and it goes on, it goes up. And if we shall know what's happening to us, maybe we shall govern ourselves better. You know, when I think, when did civilization start? When we have had the first mirror. Before we had a mirror, we didn't shave, we didn't comb our hair, we didn't wash. We got a mirror. What can we do every morning? We have to be clean. We have to comb our hair. If we shall be able to build a mirror that will show not only our outside look, but our inside decision-making, I'm sure that many people will choose to be a better person. So I think we're at a revolutionary age. We're in a crisis because we lost the past and we didn't gain yet the future. If I can recommend to anybody, leave the past alone. Past is dead. Let him lie there quietly without our interference and references. The future is fresh and demanding. Let our children learn how to dream, how to envisage, how to have a vision. You know, most people prefer to remember rather than to think. When you say remember, you don't remember really. You remember the good things and you forget the bad things. So it's a discrimination. When you think, you don't know everything, but you are challenged. You can see a message, you can see a call, and make the life of each of us and all of us better, meaningful, and satisfy at least the spirit of Shakespeare and the results of Chekhov. Thank you very much.